Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 4. Today we have the first race between Team Mogliacci, with Orange representing his team as the runner, with Mogliacci being the air pilot. And we have Team Skull Kids, represented by Gammachuu. He will be piloted by Rama and his team, and the Spoiler Log Key Sanity Race. How's it going, folks? I am Wolfling370, and joining me on the mic is Lucy and Brett. I hope I pronounced that right.
Lucy and Green. But yes, that's having a good time tonight.
Alright, so for anyone who's not seen this before, we are playing a Spoiler Log Key Sanity Race. Right on go, both of the team's pilots are going to be getting the spoiler log, which means everything will be known to them. The entire scene open bare for them to route and get a good time down. But the pilots are not allowed to play. It is down to the runners on screen, Orange and Gammachuu, to execute the route their pilots make and finish the sea proper. This can actually lead to some difficulties in both sides. The routers could make a mistake because they have to read this log on the fly. There's no preset I wasn't sure if I was lost to be there for a moment. But yeah, there is no preset study period that you would normally see with a spoiler log race. So these routers, this is going to be a live routing, which means there could be some mistakes. And there's also, with it being a score log, the executors could opt to not take any safeties or as few safeties as possible to try to get a little bit more, or get their time down. But this in turn leads to a likelier time, or words. This leads to them more likely being able to die and thus losing time in the end as we get started here on the race.
It looks like both races are starting in Sanctuary. And so what will happen usually is that a lot of the racers will just do some complimentary checks, early game checks, give their pilots some time to parse the info to give to them.
And what a check for our two runners. They get the Swamp Small Key right out the gate.
Yeah, and that Swamp Small is always a pain because it's a small key that acts like a big key. Without that small, you cannot access the entire dungeon.
I like to think of it as an ice rod more so. But yeah, just to be upfront, folks, we could also have access to score log here in the commentary booth, but we have both opted to stay blind for this race.
Yep, so we are experiencing all this info at the same time as you.
Small key to T-Set and a small key to Skullwood's found, as well as we get some ammunition and a boomerang as well. That can be helpful later on.
Yeah, boomerang's always nice to have in your back pocket until you find the hook shot or the red boomerang.
Now, as you see lighting up down below the bottom of the screen here, we have our crystals and pendants already being lit up as the tracker gives us that information. Maps would normally give us this information normally, but, well, we don't really need them in a spoiler log race, unfortunately. And it looks like we have Swamp and Eastern Palaces are 5-6. Green Pendant is in Thieves Town, and we need Bombos and Ether if I'm reading this right.
Looks like Gamma is doing some early game bomb pickups. Nothing blind so far. Oh, there's a Cansamaria.
And the Ice Rod, no less. Pretty good items all around. Now, bomb routing is definitely something that some of the trackers, or the routers do. And the spoiler log is actually a very nice tool. It's unlike the ones you would see if you just generated casual seed. This even goes a little bit further and tells you what the poultries are, what the crabs drop. It's just all around great things to find.
There's our Moon Pearl on the race game. So Kakariko is paying off nicely so far. Orange just opting to buy the bombs instead of finding them.
Ah, and I was wondering why we were hearing such strange music. We have Orange using a MIDI. Or MDU files. He's playing some K-Star music instead of the original Zelda themes we are known to love.
This is something you don't see very often. Gammachuu is doing the bomb hunt in Southwest Kakariko Village to avoid having to pay for bombs.
Can be a viable strat if the money is tight on the run, or you're just not planning to get any money.
Definitely good heads-up play.
So Lamp, Cane, Samoria, Ice Rod, Moon Pearl, a lot of things we still are missing.
There's not quite enough to have any definite answer on where to go.
Oh, that tells us a lot, though. That's a small key to Castle Tower.
Yeah.
They would not go for that if they didn't need to.
Yeah, that's not great. Yep, and Orange is doubling back for that Castle Tower key, so yeah, that was not found by accident, for sure.
So, folks, Key Sanity Agate Tower requirements are a little bit stricter. In addition to getting the lamp and the sword and the cape we need in order to get in there, we also need both small keys. Now, granted, they may not need to go all the way up the tower for their Dark World access. There could just be something in the second chest, which would require one small key.
Yeah, that's always important to take. Now we find the second key, then we can start sweating. Looks like Orange is making the trip out to Desert, over to Agina.
Yeah, this looks to be a pretty exacting round here. Gammachuu, meanwhile, looks to be heading to South Shore.
So I was going to see some early game divergence.
Yeah, and because of spoiler, you know these runners are moving with purpose. So there's something in both locations. We'll just see what we get first here in Agina's Cave. It is the hook shot.
Always important.
Yeah, hook shot is an important item, but it's actually more useful than you would think. It's a very useful early game mobility tool. You can hook shot on the trees just to get that little burst of speed.
Yeah, oh, there's our second Castle Tower key.
And the Book of Medora.
It's happening.
And the Smoky to Desert, and the book, so... Ooh, boy. Yep, this is definitely looking like an Agaseed if we were getting the Castle Tower small keys.
Especially this early, too. If they were, like, spread out later in the Dark World, that's different. Looks like Gamma's going for their hookshot now.
Yeah, and if there's anything inside Desert Palace, is Ramon most have told Gammachuu that to go get the book in the Desert Small just as well. Probably has our sword in it, actually. We still need that, and either another sword or the cape or full Aghanim access. The shovel has also been picked up. Well, there's our sword.
Yeah, that solves that problem.
So the riding has definitely been a lot cleaner on Gammachuu's end, for Skull Kids, rather.
Yeah, and it looks like Gamma hasn't gone for his hookshot yet. I'm assuming he'll get that on the way out.
Yeah, going right side in Desert, there's an exit there that drops you right outside of the palace. It's pretty close to Agina.
Right, I always forget about that exit.
Probably because it's a one-way trip.
Yeah, the only time that comes up for really is cross keys, usually. Alright, there's our cape. So yeah, the pieces for Aga are falling into place.
They fall into place completely, actually. We have everything we need across both runners.
Looks like Orange is heading to Hyrule Castle. I wonder if there's something in Hyrule Castle before making the trip to Aga, because we still don't have any means to deflect the balls.
Or importantly, we don't have a means to deflect the curtain that's in our way. We need to cut that still.
Yeah, so I'm guessing there's probably another sword in the Hyrule Castle dungeon.
Yeah, that looks to be the case. Either that or another important item.
Yeah, looks like Gamma's making his way to Hyrule Castle now. Usually don't see Aga plays less than 10 minutes into the game, but that's spoiler for you.
Yeah, better to get it out of the way sooner rather than later, honestly. Orange opting for the cape makes a lot more sense in the later game, too, because that means he can afford to play a little bit safer with some of the more difficult bosses like Vitreous.
Yeah, Vitreous and Ganon, cape is a clutch item to have. And there's Orange's first sword in the Hyrule Castle dungeon, but Orange going on further. So again, Zelda Cell.
Yeah, now to point something out here, due to the key sanity logic, or rather the key logic in general, because the Hyrule Castle small key can be anywhere, you could use the small key on the guards to get to the backside of the dungeon and open up the Dark Cross chests. So as a result, this is actually locked by the Hyrule Castle small key. You have to have it for this chest to be in logic. But that's just a niche, really, if you think about it in the grand scheme of things. There's our hammer, though. That is an important find.
Yes, hammer, and Orange taking the Death Warp to head back to the front, likely heading up to Aga.
We can also read sort of the seed here at this point. Because we have the hammer, but we're having to do Aghanim, it means both of our gloves are in Dark World somewhere. Or locked behind something in Dark World. Because if they weren't available, we wouldn't have to ascend the tower.
Gamma taking his Death Warp. And we'll see how much edge the Master Sword gives Gamma climbing up, not Ganon's tower, Aga's tower.
I'd say it's only a minor time game because he still has access to the hammer and the ice rod, which are both tools that can be used to help deal with the guards quicker. If we had to kill some of these more aggressive guards, though, then we'd have to use the sword. But ice rod and chunking them and then smashing the frozen guard with the hammer can do wonders.
That's such a fun strat to pull off, just killing a guard with another guard.
Yeah, opting not to do the free strats, though. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if the red guards can actually be frozen.
I don't believe they can, if memory serves right, but I could be wrong on that.
Well, it doesn't really matter. Orange is done with the combat for the most part, and Gammachuu is right behind him. Orange is going to take a few steps back to get that heart drop.
Yeah, I was gonna have those hearts because you never know when Aga's gonna just go non-stop blue ball.
Yeah, speaking of which, that is not in the spoiler log, so these runners are about to get a seeded pattern of blue shots, which are non-reflectable. We want to see the orange ones. The first shot of the pattern is always going to be orange, and the last shot is always going to be randomly arcing lightning. It changes direction every frame. So it's not something we can exactly seed, but the pattern we can. Looks like we only got 2 orange shots in the first pass. Here comes the lightning attack. Alright, so far so good. And the wizard is dead. Doesn't look like it, but his first shot is guaranteed to be that reflectable one, and he's already been hit 5 times. And thus we have access to Dark World. Now that does make the Light World a lot harder as well, but we can't have nice things sometimes. In fact, it actually was smart of Orange to go to Eastern Palace, now that I think about it, to get the cape. Because now he doesn't have to worry about dealing with all those guards around on the way to Sahasrara. That's actually some good heads of knowledge, now that I think about it. Oh, can't go that way. Oh, wait, no, he has the hammer. Never mind. Gammachuu buying some more bombs, currently out. And Orange is just going to head over to the Village of Outcast region, and there's that tech I was talking about. Pokeshotting the trees to just get a little bit faster movement in the overworld. You can't do it everywhere, but it helps so much. And this is what I was talking about with the guards here, as we get another sorted Sea House. Just look at all these enemies that you'd have to deal with otherwise. I think Orange made the wise call there not to deal with them. And there's the 4th sword already! Wow! We have the means to full clear Thieves' Town needed, but our runners, of course, know what every item is in this place, so we'll skip the chest as net needed. Alright, Orange gonna head upstairs. His pilot has probably told him what's in the chest upstairs, and he don't need to go up there at all. Wait a minute. Oh, that's actually some good information then. If we don't go upstairs, we don't have to fight Blind here, so there's just something in the basement. Man, the Village of Outcast has been really good to Orange, really. 2 swords. And hopefully something else here in the basement of Thieves' Town. Meanwhile, Gammachuu is heading into Skull Woods. And gets the bow. And there's our first glove.
Alright, just got back. Sorry about that. I had some technical difficulties.
It's fine. We got a couple swords, and our first glove is in Thieves' Town. In the big chest.
Oh boy, that's a heck of a place for it to be.
But thankfully, we don't have to worry about the boss, because Orange is ignoring it, so looks like there may be nothing on pedestal after all. And of course, our runners already know what's on ped, but that's a minor detail at this point. But yeah, Thieves' Town was really good to Orange. Sea House had a sword. First chest in Thieves' Town had a sword, so plenty of weaponry to go around.
Okay, so since Gamma already has the Master Sword, does that mean Gamma's going to be coming up with the gold here in a second?
Didn't opt to get the sword in Sea House just yet.
Okay, so. And Golden Tempered, offensively, the rest of the game falls very neatly into place.
Yeah, they're pretty much set regardless if they get the gold sword or not, and they're both relatively on the way, so there's not really any way to avoid them. Unless you think you're comfortable with the tempered sword.
Yeah, and for players of this skill level, tempered sword is more than enough.
Yeah, and that goes to show you with the scores here. Mogliacci is currently undefeated in the league proceedings starting here in their first match of Week 4. Gammachuu has only lost a single time. So these are two of the best teams here in this division.
Yeah, not only two of the best teams like in the league, the Invitational League, which are the best of the best. So to be among the best there, you're pretty darn good.
Yes, and I double-checked the division here. This is the Kakariko division of the Invitational side.
It's like Orange thought about going to back Rock for just a second, but backed off.
The pilots, once again, folks, who are just now tuning in, we have Moogle Charm piloting for Mogliacci, and we have Ramon piloting for Skull Kids.
I actually just realized that is technically vanilla gloves.
Yeah, technically. Considering our gloves are progressive in randomizer.
You always gotta love vanilla item placement. You're so used to the randomizer that the concept of vanilla just throws you for a loop every time. We finally got our first heart increase with the seed. There's our Titan's Mitts.
Which were locked behind access to the mountain, which we needed a glove for. Which also tells us that the flute is glove locked as well. If we were to read into the routing that these two runners have done thus far.
Yeah, and you definitely wouldn't do Aga if you had literally any other option. It looks like Orange is going to knock out Taro O'Hara while he's up here.
There is our crystals after all, and we do have the mirror here as well. Big find.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think both runners won't be getting the gold swords here at this point. Gammachoo's abandoned the one at Sea House. Orange hasn't even been to the desert region yet to get that sword. As we have the Big Key Asian Palace, a key we do need. But yeah, the difference between Master and Tempered is just so massive that you always want to go for it if you can. The difference between Tempered and Gold Sword is minor. Your spins aren't any stronger, but your slashes are. Which could just speed up the fights by making them take like 1 or 2 less hits, which overall don't save that much time. It's the big time save is on Ganon, because you don't have to use spin attacks to deal damage to Ganon with Tempered Sword, whereas with Master, you are forced to do spins.
Yeah, Gold Sword's one of those things, if you find it, nice, but it's on the top level play, it's one of those things players rarely sweat.
And Moldorm had a small key to Turtle Rock. We do need 3 of those in order to get to the basement and fight Trinex. And a 4th if something is in the lava chest. I actually commentated a seed earlier this week that did, unfortunately.
Those are always the best one that makes you go for the extra, like a fully loaded pod or Turtle Rock that makes you get all the keys. Nice, easy heart pickup there for Orange.
I think the worst part about that seed, though, is the double dip of Turtle Rock logically required.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, and then a double dip of Mire on top of that.
That sounds like a pretty evil seed.
Yeah, thank goodness it's spoiler log week, right?
Yeah, it takes some of the pain out of having to guess, but still, that's rough.
Now, I believe I've already seen Hype Cave from Gammachuu. I don't remember what was in here otherwise. Ah, the Bombos Battalion, which we do need. Never mind, Gammachuu has not been there yet. And has picked up some extra hearts as well.
Yeah, 3 hearts in short order is always nice.
Yeah, picking up some health is, well, again, one of those safeties in which you can decide not to pick up any or pick up those until you feel comfortable. And I'm not going to say no to a few heart containers at first, because I don't want to get one-shot by Ganon, which is possible in 3 hearts.
Yeah, and like, in spoiler mode, that speaks to the level of trust between the pilot and runner to send your racer into low percentage situations like that, knowing they can handle it.
Nice technical side there from Orange, doing a Ancilla trick to delete the splash animation, which allowed him to fake flipper into Ice Palace.
Yeah, very nice. Splash lead is something I'm not particularly good at. I'm learning, but always cool to see it pulled off in races.
Yeah, the nice thing about Splash Lead is that there is a variety of ways to overload the sprite count in order to get the results. I just don't happen to know most of them.
I wonder if Gamma is going to be riding Orange's tail with that fake flipper.
The fake flipper is going to be a little bit more difficult for Gammachuu because the traditional way is to do it from the bottom of Lake Hylia, and that is still a fair bit of a walk. Meanwhile, Big Key of Dark Palace right away in ice.
Looks like Gamma is heading over to Bamo's tablet. And there's a nice icebreaker from Orange.
For the boots. And
the
there's the flippers on the tablet.
No need to worry about fake flippers because we got the real flippers.
And Orange will need to pick those up at some point to get to Swamp. But obviously one of the boots before entering Swamp Palace, which I honestly do not blame them. Boots are one of the best items in this game.
Yeah, it looks like Gamma is just taking those flippers right on next door.
And the flute was here as well!
Oh boy.
Orange getting all of the speed progression here. And in a pendant Ice Palace, no less.
Ah, that is... Pendant Ice Palace.
So far, 2 of our 3 pendant dungeons have had progression in them. I'm not 100% sure on Desert had anything of note.
I'm not sure if we checked the torch in Desert. I think Gamma beelined right for the sword.
Now, one thing we did see there as Gammachuu entered is the Blue Mail is submerged in the waters surrounding the dam. So that is a nice safety if Gammachuu wants to pick that up. We'll see if he opts for it later after he finishes Swamp Palace.
I'd imagine having the actual flippers in the hand now, Gamma's probably gonna head straight over to ice after this.
Bottle Merchant had a small key to Dark Palace.
Looks like we're heading to Pod.
Yeah, and this is where having the boots and the flute are going to help Orange out immensely. Because navigating the overworld does take a fair amount of time, and just any way you can minimize that is time you save. So, Gammachuu is going to be just losing a little bit of time to Orange's newfound mobility.
Yeah, I would bet Gamma would head over to ice after this. It's right next door. It's got all the items.
Small key to Turtle Rock in the flooded room there. As we see that Gammachuu did in fact do the diver down. Another trick that is randomizer approved.
Yeah, that Cane of Samaria opens up so many opportunities to do some weird, crazy tricks.
Yeah, unfortunately, diver down and by extension the icebreaker are not allowed in NMG, but we approved them for randomizer for use.
For which we thank the Racing Council for.
Indeed. Orange out of arrows, but thankfully has the game knowledge to know that there are some underneath these pots. And there's nothing in Palace of Darkness. He's just going straight to the boss.
Gammachuu puts Argus right through the grinder.
And that's Argus down. Big payout, too. I don't think we need that money at this point.
Likely not. I can't think of anything that'd be money required at this point. Now, it looks like Gamma's opting not to go for that blue mail.
Yeah, Gammachuu is probably aware of what's going on and needs to save some time.
Yeah, one of the wrinkles of Pilot Spoiler, for anyone who's interested, it is one of, if not the only game mode where it is legal for your pilot to watch the opposing team member stream.
Yeah, normal randomizer rules state that you can't watch anyone else or get outside information. Because we have the spoiler log, that rule just goes straight out the window. The runners and the pilots can both watch each other's feeds, and they can even come over here and watch the restream as well. And down goes Helmsley King, dropping the small key to Tower Hair in the process.
Yeah, so likely Gamma's pilot might be saying, hey, you know, we're a little behind, may need to step it up.
Now Gammachuu is going into Ice Palace. We'll be picking up the boots and the flute as well.
Very clean icebreaker from Gamma.
Alright, and we got the big key to Turtle Rock here, which is another key we do need.
Trying to see what the key situation is right now. Looks like we're just missing the Meyer big for necessary keys at this point.
I believe so, yes. Oh, and a couple of TR smalls. We still need at least 3 in order to get down the laser bridge. And of course, we're also missing the GT big key, which goes without saying.
Right.
It could be up in Gannis Tower like it's supposed to be, for all we know. Once again, folks, for those just now tuning in, me and my co-commentator have decided to not look at the spoiler log, even though it is also available to us. We are completely as blind as you are.
I think it's more fun that way. Alright, Orange is setting up for the quick kill on Armos.
Looking pretty good, and there we go.
Yeah,
and he
nice.
drops the small key to Turtle Rock. That's number 2.
Well, like we can see some retraced steps from Gamma here. Going to pod, likely Eastern after that.
Yeah, and Orange is going to be able to just dash through the water, which I believe does slow you down just a little bit. Not a lot. But there is a lot of straightaways in Swamp Palace to take advantage of. But just going to go and pick up those flippers first. Does need them to enter.
Something I just noticed. Looks like, Gamma has Bombos, obviously Gamma went through Hype Cave, but looks like Gamma did not opt to get those 2 extra heart containers there as well.
No, I believe Gamma knows that the better executor is Orange, so he's trying to save as much time as possible. Goes again to what I said earlier. They are taking a lot of extra risks by grabbing as few of the safeties as possible to try to get a little bit more of a time edge, which may or may not work in their favor because a death can set them back so much.
But again, at the same time, the fact that they're attempting those kinds of plays just speaks to the overall skill level of these two.
Indeed. Alright, Orange now entering Swamp Palace.
Looks like Gamma is on his way to Helma. Not even stopping to talk to the turtles.
And look at that, Gammachuu opting to use bomb strats because bombs actually do damage to the max, and quite a bit of damage too.
And I know there were probably a few of us as kids who thought the bombs were the only way to damage Helma's mask.
I always thought it was the hammer, actually.
I think for a little while I used bombs as a kid, but I picked up somewhere along the way that hammer was actually the way to do it. And my biggest dumb kid mistake was thinking Trinex's heads could only be damaged by the rods and not sword.
Yeah, I think that was something I made a mistake of. Also, I got lost in Ice Palace as a kid, because I got caught in that loop.
Oh yeah, as a kid, that can be rough. And Orange does the diver down flawlessly.
And that is small key number 3 to Turtle Rock.
Yep, assuming there's nothing in the lava chest, Turtle Rock is open for business.
No, not yet. We still need to find the Ether Medallion.
Oh yeah, that's probably important for the front door.
And we also kind of need the Fire Rod, too, to beat Trinex to begin with. But that could be in there, probably not.
At the very least, the groundwork is laid. God, Orange is putting... absolutely putting... Both of them is putting Argus through the grinder.
Very nice quick kill from Orange there. Well executed.
It's no respect for Argus whatsoever.
So yeah, after going back and forth here, we kind of lined up again here, and it looks like Orange is just barely ahead.
Yeah, pretty much just an Armos kill away from... ahead.
And that lead is actually more significant than some people might realize. Without any sort of like luck factor into finding some items, and it comes down to routing, that lead may not be surpassed unless Orange takes an unfortunate death, or there's something that the pilot Moogle Charm misses.
A different quick kill setup, but just as effective for Gammachuu. Looks like we're heading to the Pyramid Fairy now. Obviously something there.
Yeah, overall the routing here I think is a bit better on Orange's end, because ending with Swamp Palace as the second 5-6 crystal lets him go straight into traveling with the Super Bomb. Whereas Gammachuu has to do a little bit of extra overworld traversal with the flute. And Mirror Warp as well. So a little bit more efficient routing on Orange's end. And in the Pyramid Fairy, we probably have our Fire Rod. Or the big key to Misery Mire, which we do need.
Always a good heads up play to throw your bottle. Oh, and a blue potion.
That is also listed on the spoiler log, I should note. So they knew that was to be there. Always nice to have a nice freebie.
Yeah, so blue mail, blue potion. It's nice setup for orange right now.
Uncle had something? Oh, I wonder what he had.
Huh, no way. Game Tower small.
Now that's actually nice to have for routing. It's not necessarily required though. It just means we can go straight at the tower without having to worry about missing a small key. Of course, at this point, for all we know, the big key is in the basement. We have to dig around for it anyway.
Is that their first or second GT small?
That is the first GT small we've seen. And it's time for Meyer, according to Orange.
Yeah, having that one GT small means you can just kill the mini Helma near the top for that second key. Makes things nice and easy.
Yeah, I don't have to go down to the left to get a small key from underneath the pot, which saves a couple of seconds.
Gamma is right on Orange's heels. Entering Mizzy Meyer.
Fortunately, missing that whiz rope, the team just curving her. Now, the nice thing about Orange versus Gammachuu right here is Argus is one of the more dangerous fights, but both of them have Tempered Sword and the Cape, so should have no issues with the fight whatsoever. But if things go wrong, it's more likely for Gammachuu to die than Orange.
Yeah, because not only does Orange have more hearts, he also has better armor.
Yeah, better defense, taking half the damage than normally would take.
And Vitreous can hit like a freight train.
Yeah, even the slime does a full heart of damage. It doesn't care about your armor level.
Vitreous doesn't really care in general.
Nah, doesn't really.
Just absolute zero regard for your well-being from Vitreous.
Meanwhile, our Tractor Cheeks, he was apparently trying to talk to us but was in the wrong text chat. Shoutouts to our tracker, by the way, keeping those items up to date for us down there. And also filling the information about the pendants and crystals ahead of time. Alright, there we go. Argus. I said the wrong boss. Vitreous is down. Yeah, my bosses mixed up all the time. And it's red mail, so Gammachuu is going to be getting armor regardless.
This is thing. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, thankfully you only need 8 arrows to defeat Vitreous once the second phase starts up. And this is when Orange is going to opt to route into Desert.
I doubt it. I wonder if Orange is going to take a look at that golden sword on the ledge.
I'm pretty sure he knows it's there and doesn't want to pick it up. But there's the Ether Medallion. This is why Orange put it off. Single dipping Desert.
Yes, very good call from the pilot. It's been a very clean route for Orange so far.
Yeah, Mogliacci putting in work for Team Mogliacci. And Orange's execution is nothing to snuff out either. It's been really clean.
Oh yeah, I mean, you look at the boss execution, just giving these bosses the business.
And it looks like we are entering Turtle Rock here.
I'm assuming Fire Rod is just up here, so we're still going without Fire Rod.
Yeah, and we would have done Skull Woods if it was active otherwise.
Yeah, it took me a couple seconds to process. I'm like, wait, Skull Woods? Why are we going Turtle Rock? And I forgot.
Alright, 45-16 on Orange's end, entering Turtle Rock's medallion animation.
And probably get another 5 minutes for it to end.
$45-37, I think I saw that start up on Gammachoo's end. So about a 20-second difference right now. And that can be easily switched by a death or just mismanagement of routing or a Eden input like that right there.
Yeah, the time difference is just mere seconds, like it is right now. Small stuff like that can add up.
Yeah, it is not done yet. This can go either way. This could even come down to getting triples on Ganon over doubles. Unless we find the silver arrows along the way.
Alright, looks like we're stealing that key, so nothing on the lava chest. So, looks like Fire Rod's gonna be on Laser Bridge or Crystal Roller Room.
Yeah, we don't want to see anything in that center chest, so that means we had to go track down the fourth small key. At least in terms of key logic.
Was, Gammachoo's Dark World sprite the, Pokeball with the, Triforce symbol?
I believe it was, yes. That's actually quite nice.
I've always liked Gammachoo's, sprite.
Alright, looks like it's Mimic Cave. It looks like Mimic Cave and Big Chest are not our answer, so it's over here in the Crystal Roller Room, most likely. No, it's not. It's a Fire Rod on Laser Bridge.
Yeah, that is terrible.
Oh, it sucks because that is one of the worst things you can get in a seed like this. But at the same time, it's so rare that I'm always pleased to see it.
Yeah, I think in a regular seed, that's a last location for a lot of people.
I mean, in a regular seed, this would require the key logic to be absolutely perfect to set it up, so it's very rare. But a little bit more common in Key Sandy when you have the keys anywhere. Oh, is it a Magic Bat?
Oh, that's even worse.
No, it's right
Okay,
there.
no,
Okay.
I'll say, oh no.
Orange picking up that powder for some extra safety, which is always nice to have.
And Gamma not going for the powder.
Yeah, this goes back to what I said again. Gammachoo's being very aggressive with the safeties, not taking them as few as possible. Trying to get as many seconds on Orange's lead as possible.
Yeah, and they are a elevator, I'll call it, right away from Trinex, apart from each other.
And there's been some few trip-ups by Orange as well, so they are definitely almost assuredly within 5 seconds of each other at this point. And both runners know this because their routers are likely telling them this in the chat, or rather, they're watching the race. Yeah, yeah. Look at that! Very quick kills on both parts. And then we go by the crystal grab here. We are in go mode for all intents and purposes. 49-38, 49-39. Let's see the sword spin, so it'll be more accurate.
At 49.50 and 49.53, 3 seconds apart.
Yeah, Gammachuu made up a lot of time there. And it's just go to Skull Woods and finish the seed. It is still anyone's race, and we still haven't found the GT Big Key yet either. So that small key that Orange is holding might come into play and make all the difference.
Yeah, you love to see it once this close.
Yeah, this is a good race. Don't get me wrong. It may be spoiler log, so they know where to go, but it is a good race all the same. Oh, Orange getting bonked. They're pretty much tied up at this point.
Gamma's taking a very slight lead.
Yeah, that's just Bush RNG. Bush RNG has changed the lead slightly into Gammachoo's favor.
Those giant rocks hiding underneath bushes, Ganon's greatest minion.
Orange getting bombed by the fire bar. Definitely is behind now. Gammachoo's routing, being so aggressive, is starting to pay off now. But he doesn't have any magic for them off at this point. And this is where the health is going to matter a little bit more. But both runners are on 5 hearts. The big difference here is that sword beams are going to interfere with Gammachuu, whereas they're not going to interfere with Orange, and it's a simultaneous boss kill.
Oh, good lord! This is a game.
They are literally within milliseconds apart from each other. It is too close to call.
Yeah, they are mere frames apart.
The refill is lower on Orange's end, so he actually gets out first. That actually mattered. Orange is now back in the lead just slightly. Oh my goodness, this is gonna come down to Ganon. Deadrock's coming into play. Gammachoo's down the lead. That is some unfortunate luck on Orange's end. He needs this to happen.
Just goes to show, Deadrock's doing everything. Yeah, this is down to the wire.
This is insane. Like, Orange should be in the lead, but it just has a couple of bad luck with bushes and Deadrocks. And again, with Deadrocks being in the way, it has to take another detour.
God, this reminds me of Gammachoo's Game 3 against Dante back during the last main tournament. It's like a 45-second difference, I think, at the end.
All of the bad luck on Orange's end is actually adding up. That is unfortunate, but that's how it goes sometimes in these races. Still a very close race, though. Anything can still happen here. Again, this could come down to Ganon triples.
Or a Moldorm drop.
Yeah, don't count Orange out yet, despite the bad luck. Alright, where is the Ganon's Tower Big Key?
Who would think we'd be playing the Ganon's Tower guessing game on Key Sandy mode?
There was literally a small key on the torch. Vanilla GT Small.
It looks like the answer's not in Dark Magician Room. Are we gonna have a vanilla big key?
see as Orange is moving through these rooms.
This is flawless execution by both runners.
Half magic there for Gammachuu, definitely picking it up to save some magic on Ganon. Allow him to be a little bit more aggressive.
That looks like randomizer room's gonna have something.
Probably our big key. There it is.
There it is.
And the silvers. So that's not going to be a factor anymore. Gammachuu is just straight up ahead of Orange now. The only thing that can happen is a fall to Moldorm.
Or a fall to Ganon.
That too. That too.
But I would imagine having silvers of a Ganon fall is pretty rare.
Yeah, this is going to be incredibly close still.
Yeah, like right now obviously if you're watching the screen, the advantage is clearly Gammachoo's, but anything can happen going up these next four or so floors.
Yeah, Orange is still literally a room behind, but anything can happen up here in the gauntlet. Orange, though, is close to death. Two hearts entering the gauntlet. Timely heart drop there.
Nice little bit of splash damage on the fire rod to kill that Stelphos.
Yeah, very common strategy there. And mode 2, not going to have a bad pattern here. Going to be able to snipe them as they appear. Orange getting tripped a little bit by the third room here.
Gamma is just cleaving through Ganon's tower.
Yeah, this goes to show Gammachoo's execution is better. Orange missing of the one cycle on land mode 2 that is going to eat up even more time.
Nice use of those invincibility frames to bypass that fire bar. Really nice heads-up play.
Yeah, Gammachuu is just on fire right now. There is very little chance he's going to be stopped at this point.
Like, credit to the pilots for, guiding them through the seed so quickly, but stuff like that is pure execution on the part of the racer.
Yeah, definitely give our two routers a shout out as well as our two runners here. This is a absolute beast of a seed, and they are just murdering it. Limo 2 down.
Yep, no Chodorm today. Gamma ends up making complete and total mockery of Ganon's tower.
I cannot feel bad for Orange. He put on an excellent race, and it just came down to luck.
Yeah, there was just some really mean, tiny little breaks up going up Death Mountain.
Not to mention the trap rock on his way to Skull Woods.
That too. Both racers are fighting our favorite Master of Geometry, Agadem 2.
This is a cycle there. That could give Orange an edge if we can get a shot in there.
Oh, but it falls up a triple. So right. we're what, half an Aga fight away from each other?
Yeah, it's still pretty close. Oh, Orange missed that cycle too. That's unfortunate. Nice triple though to wrap things up.
All right, strap in, folks. This is it. Gamma heading in with 3.5 hearts to fight Ganon. No potions, as far as I know.
Nice double spin off the Trident there. Definitely a 1-on-1 cycle. Using the cape to great effect here. That's why I picked up the half magic. Gonna be double 1 cycle here. Not much room for error at this point. Gonna hold the wall for safety here so he doesn't have to waste magic either. Good heads up play here. Gammachuu knows he's ahead. He's gonna play the fight as safe as possible. Keep as much magic as possible.
And it's crazy to think for a game like the choice to not pick up those 2 hearts in Hype Cave. You know, that's the amount of time we're talking about here that could have been the deciding factor in this race.
Three Dead Rocks, everything. This is actually such a great race. I am very impressed by both these runners. Gammachuu visiting the Torch Glitch, not that big a deal.
Yeah, definitely not when silvers are in play.
And that started the teleport pattern. Ladies and gentlemen, get your Jesus in chat for Gammachuu and Skull Kids. They have taken Mogliacci's first win, or they've taken the first blood against Mogliacci in the league, giving them their first loss. And they've finished with a time of 1 hour, 1 minute, 46 seconds. Excellent race from Gammachuu. Well done.
God, and we're just 20 seconds away from each other. That is so insane.
And get your GG in chat for Orange as well. What a race this has been. This came down to the final moments here. And there's the GG from Orange, finishing with a time of 1:02:05. A 21 second, no, not even 21 second, 19 second difference. What a race. And we are, not yet. We're going to get our runners in here for an interview shortly, as well as maybe our pilots as well. Overall, this was an amazing race. This came down to literally the last little bits of moments, and of course, a little bit of luck as well was involved.
Yeah, and that's like watching Pilot is so different from watching a regular game because every single action is taken with purpose. There's no guesswork. Everything's done with intent.
Yeah, I would dare say that this would have been Orange's race had he not got that trap F Skull in Skull Woods as he was going to the back, as well as getting dead rocked on Death Mountain. This could have been his race. Easily.
Yeah, like on the flip side, you think like if Gamma had taken the extra few seconds to pick up those 2 hearts in, say, Hype Cave, would have been really tempting and easy to get, but that's how much time, that's how little time this ended up being decided by.
Yeah, this was just a great race. Both of these runners deserve to be followed here, as does the routers as well, because they put on an absolute clinic of routing here.
And of course, none of this would have been possible without our restreamer, Jon Snoo.
And our tracker, of course, keeping those items up to date for you once again was Jinxie Girl. It looks like we have Mogliacci ready for an interview here. And welcome in, you two. GG's. What a great race this was. It came down to luck of all things. Walk us through the seat. How was your routing?
I don't know if it was luck. Gamma and Ramon are amazing. The route just kind of came together, especially once I was able to book some time with Orange having to do AGA. Yeah, at the end there, some of that luck with the dead rocks kind of sucked, but yeah, we shouldn't have taken the time to get that key off of the uncle. That was a mistake.
Yeah, it mainly came down to one mistake and one bad decision. The mistake we made was not getting the onion sour tea from Chicken Hut, and the mistake I made was that decision to go get that GT small off Uncle.
Yeah, you guys were right neck and neck with each other going into Skull Woods, as we are also now joined by Gammachuu. The difference is you both got the same bush to get a trap. The difference was Gammachuu got a guard and you got the skull, which bonked you.
Ah.
Yeah, you were literally right on top of each other up until that moment.
Yeah, I mean, we did lose by 20 seconds, so it wasn't just that, but yeah, it sucks.
At least we put on a good show.
GG's, Gamma.
There is no doubt about that.
Yeah.
GG's. And welcome in, Gammachuu, once again. You guys, of course, winners of the race. I suppose your pilot is not going to be joining us?
GG's. Oh no, not it's very late for him. He was gonna go off to sleep. But yeah, that was a little. Ramon was giving me a step by step as we come out of TR, so I'm like a little panicky at that moment. Like, okay, we can't make any mistakes. But
yeah, your trip up Gans Tower was you just cleaved right through it.
Yeah, yeah, I felt confident just because I had, full health, half magic on me, and the blue potion on him too. So I felt like, okay, I could just do this feeling confident, and hopefully, just just hope for a smooth, clean gauntlet climb. Because that's what I really wanted, to kind of have a little buffer between me and Orange. Because yeah, I did also hear like every second, like, okay, you saved a little time right here going up the mountain, just because Dead Rock RNG as well, any little thing like that. I was kind of like, yes, that's what I need.
Yeah, Wolf and I were commenting during the race, like your routing choices as in regards to not picking up health and the blue mail over by the dam, very aggressive.
Oh yeah, because at that point too, we also knew, okay, they're a little ahead of us at that point, and I just told Ramon, yeah, we'll just skip the safeties, and yeah, I just need to cut corners here. Because he did Ice Palace before Swamp, right?
Yeah.
He did.
Yes.
Yeah, that was, we weren't thinking at that point that we were going to come back to the South portal for the red bomb. So it would have been better just to save off Swamp until we had Boots and Flute on hand.
And some absolute top tier, fantastic play from both racers and pilots as well.
Yeah, you guys are definitely the best in the Kakariko division. You're both now, I believe, 6-1 combined now after this first race, and you're going to be racing again tomorrow. Well, your teams are, rather. Orange and Gammachuu, you guys are done for this week, and you're going to let your third teammate take over, whereas Mulu, you and Ramon will be doing the piloting once again, if I'm reading this right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be tomorrow. Shireen, this time will be behind the wheel here, racing Jolo Ninja.
And we're going to be deploying Julo Ninja tomorrow with Moogle Tormon pilots.
Yeah, you guys are definitely the best team in the league. You pretty much are going. I can easily see you both being in the playoffs for this Kakariko division. So.
And don't jinx it yet.
I mean,
it can happen. You're right. You're right.
The records are starting to get bunched up with the top there a little bit. So.
I mean, our winning streak finally came to an end, and we have 2 weeks where we have some not only difficult opponents, but we have difficult opponents in their home turf.
Yeah, wall kicks next week in
Wall kicks in Krusty's week and CS Tutor in Animizer week.
That sounds like a fun time.
Now, I actually just pulled the schedule here, and folks, if you want to see this upcoming race between Jewel Ninja and Shireen, set your alarms because there's an 8 a.m. race over on Speed Gaming. So that is going to be one to watch here. Of course, we have a couple more races on the schedule as well. We have at 1 o'clock, the Immortals versus Shackles, the game Roach versus Asder, and of course, there's Boomer Friendly versus Swirly Coin Brewing, Scrub Trials versus JO at 7:30. Restreams have yet to be determined at this time for those, though. And of course, we still have a bunch of open league matches. One of which, let me just check here. is going to be starting up soon over here on the League 3, and it might actually be over here on the League main with Ursula 115 and Sick Jester, Zeeves Frogbear versus Hovering Sick Kids. But yeah, GG's to both of your teams once again. Excellent race. Is any final thoughts about this team before we wrap things up?
No, just GG's again to Orange and Moogle, and good luck to them next, the race tomorrow. And thank you guys for commentating too. I appreciate them putting up the restream.
You're welcome. It's good to be here.
Yeah, GG's to Gammachuu and the Skull Kids. And I wish them the best of luck for the rest of this regular season. And the playoffs when they inevitably make it in.
Hey, anything can still happen here.
Yeah, folks, once again, make sure to follow our two runners here. They put on an excellent race for us tonight. Also, don't forget to follow the ALTTPR League in our sub-channels, League 3, Leagues 2 through, I think, 5? I'm not 100% sure on that. And, of course, make sure to follow Speed Gaming and Speaking of 236 as well, because we host those races over there as well. And, of course, make sure to follow my co-commentator, Lucien Breath, our tracker, Jinxie Girl, and our restreamer, John Snoo, who, without him, this restream would not have been possible. And, of course, you can drop me a follow, too. But from all of us here at Link to Fast Randomizer, I have been Wolfling0370, and we shall see you all next time, and thank you for watching. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night.